I was reminded that we once did a program for television about the poets and musicians of long ago, the troubadours of old Europe, who described the eyes as scouts of the heart. Sure enough, 60 years ago, -1, as the incoming freshman class took the English placement test at a small liberal arts college in North Texas, my eyes fell on the beautiful young woman sitting directly in front of me, and I fell instantly in love. She seemed to me to be as serene, elegant, and refined as a fresh gardenia. I wore cowboy boots, yellow pants, a purple shirt, and glasses that were dirty long before there were nerves. Obviously, she needed a little persuasion. But I knew what I wanted, and I persisted. In the middle of our junior year, after I had shorn myself of the boots and gaudy garments, we were married. Strangers when we met, we discovered ourselves to be kindred spirits. Then, through all the trials, tribulations that come with love, marriage, family, and work, we became soulmates. So you have done us a great honor today by affirming our long relationship. Thank you for that, and thank you for inviting us to share this ceremony. In gratitude, I will be brief. Not as brief, perhaps, as the late humorist Bob Hope, who spoke at a commencement some years ago, came to a podium, looked out at the audience like this, and said, "Graduates, it's a cruel world out there. Don't go." And promptly sat down. The audience cheered. Hold your applause. I'm not going to be that brief. First, as Judith did, I want to congratulate the parents and families of the graduates. You never gave up. You waited a long time for this moment. You earned the right to rejoice by keeping the faith in your family's one. As for your graduates, I'm not sure that anyone from my generation has anything really to say to your generation, except we're sorry. We're really sorry for the mess you are inheriting. We're sorry for the enormous debt you will have to pay off from our reckless indulgence. And without getting new highways, new bridges, new sources of energy, new schools and services for what you pay. We're sorry for the big lies, big money, and malignant narcissism that drives our politics today, creating a functional democracy. We're sorry for the corporate scandals and wild speculation and the greed that brought down the economy just as you were settling in here at Whittier. We're sorry for invading Iraq for the wrong reasons, and for taking so long to find the mass murderer of 9/11, who shaped your youth as Hitler and the warlords of Japan shaped Judith and my youth. We're sorry for our addiction to drugs, alcohol, and oil, and for all the toxins in the environment, and for the growing, especially the growing inequality in America. Can you believe that the gap between the top and the bottom in America is the greatest since the Depression of the 1930s? That's when Judith and I both were born. We finished graduate school in 1966, and the gap between the top and the bottom, 20% in this country, was 30-fold. Now, it's 75-fold. The United States ranks the highest among the developed countries in each of 7 measures of inequality. And when it comes to fighting poverty, we are dead last among the 20 most developed countries. Americans who live paycheck to paycheck, as Judith's parents did and mine, find it harder and harder to get by. Rich and poor now inhabit different worlds in America. So that the influential magazine, The Economist, which looks favorably but not uncritically at capitalism, has warned that the United States risks calcifying into a European-style, class-based society. The United States of America, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness for all, a class-based, stratified, calcified society. Just the other day, a member of your generation, a 24-year-old named Matthew Klein, wrote an essay in the New York Times looking at the high unemployment among recent college graduates, about 21 to 23%. He wrote, "The American dream is unavailable to my generation, and our frustration is growing. Watch out. It may be hard to imagine an Egyptian-style revolution in America, but the young people of the Arab world are not alone in their despair and their anger." He's on to something, because while America is a great promise, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is now a broken promise. So I came here today thinking, please God, let me be looking in the face of some young man or woman who is going to transcend the normal arc of life, who is going one day to break through, inspire us, challenge us, and call forth from us the greatness of spirit that in our best moments has fired the imagination of the world. Someone of you who says it's okay to love your country right or wrong, but it's not right to be silent when your country is wrong. Someone who understands that we don't have to give up on the American experience, because the same culture which produced the Ku Klux Klan and Abu Ghraib also brought forth the Peace Corps, Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, and Whittier College. Yes, it is a cruel world out there. You know that. And you have a mess to clean up. But it's not the end of the world, despite the newspaper's ad, full-page ad that Judith pointed out to me this morning, that says, Judgment Day, May 21st, 2011. You only have about a week to turn the world around. So what the hell are you doing sitting there? You better get busy. But it's not hopeless. We have a friend here in California named Daniel Yankelovich. Dan is one of the foremost pioneers in studying the key interests, opinions, and the values of the American people. Some years ago, he told Judith and me that it's very difficult to talk about a vision for the future because the word has too many definitions, most of them too grandiose for comfort. But he gave us a simple definition of vision that is relevant to your charge and your time. A vision, he said, is simply a picture of what life would be if we were able to reverse certain destructive trends. That's your job. It's not an impossible mission. And you've come to a good place to get ready for doing just that. May I say that you made a smart choice in coming to Whittier. With the student body, the color and texture of the future, with a faculty who believed in service teaching, and with trustees and an administration committed to your need for personal growth and the world's need for social justice, this was the best choice you made early in your life. Trust me, when you are my age, looking back at a long life of hits, runs, and errors, wins and losses, you will understand how these Whittier years forged your strength and shaped your destiny, a journey you could not predict, but for which you could prepare by learning to think for yourself and still work with others. So take one more walk around the campus before you leave. Take it all in one more time. Remember why you came, who you were, what you wanted, and why. One day, those memories will come back to ground you when everything that's tied down is coming loose. Last night, when we had dinner at the president's house, and I noticed that the trustees and faculty members were walking off with the silver, I picked up something too and brought it this morning. It's an ordinary roll. You can't see it with the sun in your eyes, but it's just a bread roll. I brought it because I want to illustrate something to you. This is the great reinforcer of the reality principle. Without bread, we die. Bread is life. But if, like me, you have 1,000 more times repeated the ordinary experience of eating bread without a thought for the process that brings it to your table, the reality is physical. I need this bread to live. But the reality is also social. I need others to provide the bread. I depend on my bread for hundreds of people I have never met and will never know. If they fail me, I go hungry. If I offer them nothing of value in exchange for their loaf, I break the food chain and life itself. The people who grow the wheat, process and store the grain, and transport it from farm to city, who bake it, package it, and market it, these people and I are bound together in an intricate reciprocal bargain and exchange of value. And this is the great metaphor of civilization. I grew up in a small Baptist church in East Texas. The only office my father ever held was deacon in that church, and he was as proud of it as if he made it to the White House. He taught us to pray all my life the Lord's Prayer. But looking at this last night, I realized that I had never once prayed, "Give me this day my daily bread." It is always, "Give us this day our daily bread." Bread and life are shared realities. They do not happen in isolation. My young friends, you must right the wrongs of my generation. Civilization is an unnatural act. You have to make it happen. You and I, together with all the other strangers. My generation has not done the best job of honoring this ethical imperative, and our failure explains the mess we're handing to you. You may be democracy's last chance to get it right. Godspeed. Enjoy these last few hours, and remember, Pass the bread.